Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our slash entitled people. In today's episode, entitled woman slash Karen didn't want me to use the bathroom, granny yells at her. I am suddenly wedding photographer. Philip Carey, aka the entitled multi-billionaire Asa Buchanan from the soap opera One Life to Live, has an entitled meltdown in front of me at an airport in Jamaica. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Entitled woman slash Karen didn't want me to use the bathroom, granny yells at her. So my husband, 34M, and I, 36F, were coming back from upstate New York. We went to see my brother, who is like 4 hours away from us by Greyhound. It was a long trip and I have kidney issues due to my lupus. So I rushed to the bathroom when we got to Port Authority. For info, I am short, chubby, and use a walker. So when I got the bathroom, I had no stalls to go to but one. There were lots of stalls. However, I could only use the disabled person stall because it was the only one big enough for my walker. So I waited outside of the stall for a while and then knocked when it got to the 10-minute point. The woman huffed and said, "Use the other stall." I tell her I can't because I am disabled. The lady gets up. This woman grumbled and I heard a flush twice. The toilets are automatic, so I am guessing she was getting up and if flushed again before she fully got up. She walks out of the stall and she was bigger than me in height and weight. She had long green cornrows and name brand everything. She was wearing a tracksuit. She looked mad. I really couldn't wait anymore though. So I rush by her and go to the bathroom. It was quick, but what I didn't expect was the lady banging on the stall telling me to get the F out. She did this over and over. I tell her I am almost done. And when I walk out, it was the same woman. She says, "You stepped on my shoe. Do you know how much this is? More than 10 of your cart. If I see you again, I will make sure you are a paraplegic." Not a typo, this is how she said it. I am freaking out because I think this crazy lady is going to kill me for leaving a tiny mark on her shoe. This is when I hear BCH. Shut your fat asterisk up. You ain't no thug. This woman then darts her eyes to this 4 feet 11 inches granny. Woman had to be 80-something, but this granny was tough. This girl looked upset. The granny then looks at me and says, "Baby, are you okay?" I nod and she smiles. She then drags the larger woman out. I am guessing this was her grandma because they looked similar and she had the fear of God in her eyes. That was a weird bathroom trip, but one I will not forget. Granny gonna teach her some manners. LOL, that crazy lady wasn't a thug, but I have a feeling grandma has a colorful past. LOL, probably. I am guessing she is nice lady, but that look in the girl's eyes said a lot. Granny was not happy. I used to live near Central Booking in Brooklyn. A relative freaked out, convinced something terrible would happen to me because of all the criminals being there. My brother told me that the second they are released, they just want to get as far away from that place as soon as possible. One time he saw a tiny granny smacking the hell out of someone well over 6 feet tall, yelling, "That ain't how I raised you." Trust grannies. That sounds like my granny. She had 3 sons all close to 6 foot tall while she was 5. Nothing and 100 #s holding rocks. Nobody messed with her. Go granny, go. It's nice to see a Karen get put in their place. I am suddenly wedding photographer. I will speak in the present, but story is few years old. I was a kid from Serbia who lives in the brutalist part of Belgrade. Occasionally, I take some pictures and post them on my Instagram page. I'm not here to promote myself. I literally do this with my phone, and I have a small number of followers. One day, I received a message from a woman, and here's how it went. CB, hello. I've seen your photos. Would you like to be our photographer at the wedding? We can offer you a lot of promotion. Me, respectfully, I'm just a kid who takes pictures of brutalist buildings with my phone. Honestly, I don't think I'm your best choice. CB, you know how to take and edit photos. Come and capture our wedding. Me, I don't really enjoy photographing people. Buildings are much calmer. Trying to make a joke? CB, don't be a female reproductive organ and come to the wedding tomorrow. Me, are you serious? I'm not even in town. CB, what kind of professional photographer are you? Me, my profile description literally says I take photos for fun. CB, I'll tell everyone not to hire you. Me, that's like telling a baker not to be hired as a plumber. After that, she blocked me. CB, what kind of professional photographer are you? Me, my profile description literally says I take photos for fun. Just this. Being a skilled amateur photographer does not make one a professional. Weddings are particularly challenging, both during the event and in post-processing. I would turn down an unpaid gig. For what it's worth, the average wedding photographer charges about $3,000, which does not leave much profit when equipment and ordinary business expenses are considered. So be a female reproductive organ and tell her you'll do it for $2,000 if she does the editing and printing. A friend of mine used to do professional level photography of people, families, not sure if she ever did weddings. Once smartphones came out, everybody figured they could do just as well themselves instead of paying for what my friend did. And she wanted you to do it for free. LOL. Philip Carey, aka the entitled multi-billionaire Asa Buchanan from the soap opera One Life to Live, has an entitled meltdown in front of me at an airport in Jamaica. I was waiting second in line to check in for my flight home after a lovely vacation in Jamaica, and Philip Carey was in front of me. I was admittedly more than somewhat starstruck. The employee at the counter announces that all flights out of the airport are going to be delayed due to a storm coming in, and everybody groans and starts to get out of line to go find a comfortable place to sit and wait. But not Philip. He immediately raises his voice and starts channeling Asa. If you knew his character, you can imagine how that would have sounded, snarling at the employee that this is unacceptable because he has to get back to New York as scheduled. She calmly tells him that she's very sorry, but again, due to the weather, all flights are delayed. He escalates, demanding very loudly that she get him on a flight immediately. Sir, as I've said, there are no flights leaving this airport until it's safe. By this time, I'm off to his side because I had also started to walk away, but turned around to watch this scene unfold, and I see him glare at her while turning red. Then he stomps off, muttering to himself, "Sorry, Philip, not so starstruck now." Edited. This was in the 90s and he died in 2009. It reminded me of Miranda Priestley at The Devil Wears Prada, where she is stuck due to a hurricane and does not understand why Andy is not able to find her another flight or solution. Absolutely crazy. Please, it's just drizzling. Whenever a flight gets canceled for bad weather and I want to complain, I think about Air Florida Flight 90 that crashed into a bridge on takeoff from Washington National back in 1982, landing in the Potomac River due to ice on the wings. Some of the passengers on that flight had been on other flights that were canceled earlier, but they went up and down the concourse until they found someone who was willing to fly in the storm. If an airline says it's too dangerous to fly, I'm going to believe them. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.